Nice, sexy. Nice, sexy voice.
I can tell.
I didn't know that. You can't see me. I've been naked in like a tutu before.
He is.
I am naked.
And around the table we have
Him? The vampire stuff.
We're gonna have a good show tonight, everyone. Joining us tonight is Jason Offutt, who's a journalist and author and has a great new book out. Jason, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How's everybody down there?
Pretty good.
Pretty cold. It's cold, Jim.
I walk to work every morning. Stop whining.
You want to what?
I said I walk to work every morning. Stop whining.
Get a card. What's wrong with you, man? It's America.
He's green.
He's green.
You know, environmental.
Get one of them leftovers.
Hell no, I'm cheap. This is the only place. This is the only place I've ever worked where I had to buy a parking pass to go to work. So if I can save $90 a year, I'm going to say, you know how much cheap beer $90 buys? I'm saving them. I'm saving that money.
Not cheap beer. Not some service. We paid $4 for a case of Miller, which was pretty good. You didn't place like milk.
This is the champagne of beers, by the way.
You won't call it that.
Well, no, they call it that. That's all I'm kidding. Yeah, they call it that.
Right. They call it that. I don't know that it's the champagne of beers. More like, I don't know, the toilet water of beers.
I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Them calling themselves the champagne of beer because I'm not a big fan of champagne.
There you go. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It all works.
I like that box of wine myself. That's more my speed. Hey, you get a lot of wine for a few bucks, you know. It's better than a bottle.
Jason, I do have to say, though, that refusing to drive to work probably makes you more of a cheapskate than even John.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
Which goes.
Oh, yeah, I've no problem identifying with being the cheapest cheapskate in the world.
I actually considered, though, selling my car and getting a bicycle because I only work like 5-6 miles from the house, so then I could bike every day.
Except for no.
Well, then you'd have to walk. Then I could really.
Yeah, I actually have a bicycle, but I don't use it that much. When I was a kid, I biked all over the place, but where I lived was flat. There are a lot of damn hills where I live now. It's too much work to bicycle.
I can see that, yeah. You live, what state do you live in?
Well, I live in Missouri, but I live in northwest Missouri. It's hilly up here. It's very hilly.
Well, I didn't know you lived in Missouri. That's kind of anticlimactic.
Yes, John.
I was hoping for somewhere cooler, you know.
Okay, I've been to Canada. Hey, how about that?
Canada. I was thinking like Hawaii or something. That'd be cool.
It's just because it's cold.
I know of it.
You know of Hawaii? Right.
I know of Hawaii.
I have a friend whose daughter is living on Hawaii right now. Jeffrey's daughter is living on Hawaii.
She was a roommate?
Well, her boyfriend just got shipped off the train and in the desert, and they've been without power for 2 weeks.
Oh,
and without water.
And water in the ocean.
I know that living in paradise and having it worse than we are here in a snowstorm.
That's true. But, you know, they could go back to the old, the old indigenous ways and, bunga bunga. Do a little Tarzan thing.
Yeah. I haven't seen that going with her.
Do the Tarzan thing, Ben.
He's shaking his head now.
He doesn't speak. Anyway.
Just mute. Jason, you got a new book out.
Yes, I do. It came out in mid-January. It's called How to Kill Monsters Using Common Household Items. Because I figured, I wanted to write this book because I figured if I was sitting at home and all of a sudden there was a knock on the door and I opened it up and it was a clown, what the hell was I going to do with it? Okay, that's why I now keep an aluminum baseball bat at my front door at all times.
A clown.
Seriously, clowns are the scariest thing on the planet.
You couldn't find something scarier than a damn clown.
You've got to be kidding me. There's nothing more frightening than a clown. I mean, I go over werewolves and vampires and zombies and killer robots from the future, your evil twin from an alternate dimension, velociraptors, dragons. You know, I go through all that stuff. But, you know, when you go through monsters, clowns are the money monster.
Clowns are just...
They're freaking terrifying.
Jason, what's your solution for a porcelain head doll, a doll head?
That's some scary shit.
That's what scares John.
Really, you see, movies like that. What was it? Was it Chucky, the little doll? You know, no. It's a football. You are so much bigger than that. I don't care if it comes at you with a knife. If you can't handle a doll, you deserve to die.
Now, wait a minute. You're talking about a doll that, like, exploded and put himself back together. I mean, come on. That's pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, right, but you're also talking something that's about 1.5 feet tall. Seriously, you can't handle that? And you mentioned porcelain head dolls. Those things crack like eggs.
Yeah, it's what's in it that's scary.
Elaborate.
I want to see you crack a spirit with a baseball bat.
All right, yeah, let's line them up. I'm fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah, you can't argue. Porcelain head doll, number one scariest thing on the planet.
Especially when about 500 of them together.
Yes, when you turn the corner and nobody told me they were there.
Ignore John, he's whining.
Okay, guys, this is a little off topic, but I think it's important in our discussion. I really can't hear you guys that well.
Really?
Yeah. Can you hear it better now?
Not a whole lot, no.
Let's adjust here.
Why are you breaking? What the heck? How about now?
Okay, that sounded pretty good. I don't know if it's a technical difficulty or the fact that I listened to it way too damn much Led Zeppelin really loud when I was in high school. That might have something to do with it. I don't know.
It might.
Yeah, we can turn it up a little bit too. Does that help?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay.
Cool.
Grandpa. Okay. It's some of them hearing aids there.
Actually, so guys, I can hear you guys fine. At least this you I'm having an issue with.
It's actually, you know, that's kind of how it goes, too. I think Lisa's voice just doesn't get picked up by anything, really. I think you have to be alive to be able to be heard in a lot of cases.
Are you trying to say something here?
I'm just implying. I mean, okay, think about it. An EVP is very hard to hear, right? People have a hard time hearing you over electronic devices. You see where I'm going with it? Me? I'm just a loudmouth. They can hear me if I'm dead or alive. So
I guess it's a great thing you're a loudmouth because whenever you run into a porcelain doll someplace, people can hear you scream for help from blocks
like
away.
a little girl.
Yeah.
Squalling the whole way.
We can vouch for that.
I got no problem with it.
All right, now in research for my book, when I was looking at the whole clown issue, there are plenty of studies out there that show that people are absolutely terrified of clowns. One of my very favorite news stories of all time was out of Argentina. It was about 6 or 7 years ago, and a guy ran into a circus, pulls out a gun in front of a huge crowd, shoots 2 people dead, runs off and leaves. The reason this is a great story is he killed 2 clowns. This dude's a hero. He gets a medal in my book.
Well, I don't understand why
there was a hospital in England. There's a hospital in England, and they decorated the walls with clowns, and they discovered that it scared the holy hell out of all their patients who were children.
You know, really, the same is true of Santa Claus. A lot of kids are scared of Santa Claus.
It's probably because
that's
it's a problem.
Well, that's. I mean, the Santa Clauses they get at the stores, you know, they're straight off the street. I mean,
you know.
Okay, come on, tell me the scariest scene from the movie Poltergeist was what? When the little boy was in his room and his clown doll attacked him.
That's not scary.
Hell, I still wake up in cold chills from that.
The cold chills are detox, man. That's really not.
No, they're not. Trust me.
You have to come down to go through detox, right?
Exactly.
He's honest about it.
I swear to God, this guy's a comedian. Did you ever do comedy?
No, I've always wanted to, just never really gotten around to it. But I write humor, so I do have an outlet there, which is what this book is. It's not just a survival guide. It's pretty damn funny. Because how else can you kill a gnome with a riding lawnmower without it being hilarious?
I haven't got to read it yet. We're on chapter 7 already.
This is one of my favorites. It says, wake up at 3 a.m. Let's talk about demon clowns. Wake up at 3 a.m. with that fat bastard looming over your bed in white face paint, and after spilling yourself, tell me how much you like clowns, pal.
Oh, and by the way, that line was in reference to the serial killer John Wayne Gacy, who made extra money being a clown at children's parties.
That's true.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Now look at clowns differently, okay? You will. Oh, yeah.
I'm still not scared of a clown.
Hey, you want to, another story with Gacy is that while he was in prison, a researcher was communicating with different serial killers, doing some sort of research, and he actually
maybe it was just a
huh?
I said it could have just been a hobby. That's really high on my my hobby list is having correspondence with serial killers.
Right. Well, that could be true, but he actually got the guy. Well, he was doing research, but he got the guy to come to prison, and he scared the guy so much in the interview room that the guy ended up later on killing himself. So if that's not enough to make you scared of clowns.
Still not scared of clowns.
Well, exactly. And Gacy was probably not talking about the murders he committed. He was talking about all the balloon animals he tied while he was at children's parties.
that must be it.
It's got to be it. I mean, I would not want that dude to make me a poodle. No way, no how.
Did you say poo or a poodle?
Well, either one. Okay, either one.
Yeah, this mental picture of John Wayne Gacy in my head now. Great. Thanks a lot.
At 3 a.m., you're going to wake up with that face above you.
I'm always up at 3 a.m. anyway, so really, if I see John Wayne Gacy, just to hear the fight of his life and come up in my head. I'm not the flight kind. I'm more the fight kind. Although I may just crap myself,
So, what's your favorite paranormal monster?
Well, actually, I counted clowns in that because I didn't want somebody to take my book 100% seriously and actually kill every clown that they saw, because some of them were actually people. So I made sure to differentiate between the human clowns and the demonic clowns. So the clowns count as a paranormal creature. I think the most fun I had was that your evil twin from an alternate dimension. And the reason that one was so fun to write was because this guy's you. He probably, crapped on his boss's desk, went home and had sex with your wife, okay, scratched your car, okay, caused all these problems for you. What on earth are you going to do for him or do to him? Are you going to shoot him? I've seen that episode of Star Trek, okay? You don't have Spock in your corner, logically figuring out which guy is Kirk and which guy is the fake Kirk. Okay, Spock's going to shoot the right one every time. Your wife, however, is going to be really pissed. Okay, she doesn't know which one is which. So I had a lot of fun figuring out how can I screw this guy over. You know what? Credit rating. That's number one.
Credit rating.
Gotta screw up the guy's credit rating. Yeah.
Sure.
And a sock with a brick in it's pretty nice too.
What about a chain with a lock on the end of it?
Depends on how big the lock is.
Well, it's got to be a big lock, obviously.
Well, I mean, are you talking a teenage girl's diary lock? Because that's not going to do anything. You got to have a great big Yale son of a bitch right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be such a thing as a tank lock, right? Or wouldn't you know? I thought you knew everything. There you go. Padlock on a motor pool.
That's a little different than a chain lock. Yeah, I just had to really get a chain or anything.
Why can't that happen?
Why would you do that?
But there's so many different monsters that can come into your life, and each one of them, there are different ways to kill them. I mean, you got to look at vampires, and most vampire attacks occur in third world countries. Okay, the main question here is why do most vampire attacks occur? Because, again, I did a lot of research on this, and vampires are, in every culture on the planet. And the only ones reporting real vampires... Huh?
We have one at the table right now.
What, a vampire?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's not the best use for them. But all cultures have vampires, some legend of them, but it's only the third world countries that continue to report, they're still attacking us. And I figured out the reason must be because of the fact that they don't have air conditioning. Okay, they have their windows open all the time. It's a goddamn buffet in third world countries for vampires. The windows are wide open. Okay, what do they have to do here to get into your house? They got to knock on your door and claim to be insurance representatives. Okay, that's how they get in. Okay, so if you're a vampire, you need to live in Guinea.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. You are a smart man.
Business problem.
Thank you.
Salt the windows.
We can sell garlic, salt, a little crosses in the windows. That works on vampires.
Well, and a lot of it depends on the type of vampire because every culture's vampires have different. There are different ways to kill them, and they have different weaknesses. The Hollywood vampire has a weakness for garlic. Well, it's good to eat lots of Italian food, but that's probably not going to stop a vampire. Okay, because lots of vampires, wait outside of pizza restaurants, for by the dumpster waiting for hobos, I think. So, it's not the Italian, it's not the garlic that's going to get the vampire. Okay,
and they actually might like garlic.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things you get used to it after a while, right? Right. Yeah. But it depends on where you are, what you're going to use to kill these things. And with vampires, it's all across the board. So basically, what I came up with vampires, if you actually get one cornered, the best thing you can do is absolutely everything. Because in America, the one thing we do best is we overkill.
Right.
Okay, in some countries, it's put a holy wafer on their tongue, cut off their head and put a holy wafer on their tongue, or bury them in holy ground, or dismember them and spread their body parts and set fire to them. I'm saying do everything, and then just piss on them for good measure, just for the just inconvenience that they caused you. Because, if there's a slew of vampires in your neighborhood, you're not going to get pizza delivery worth a damn.
So what about, did teenagers make your book?
Oh, teenagers?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, teenagers sort of made my book because in the vampire chapter, I explored what if the person you're seeing with pale, pasty skin, black fingernails, and dark clothing lurking outside of Barnes & Noble at 11:30 at night smoking cigarettes. What if that isn't a vampire? It's just a kid trying to be goth. What do you do? Well, you can't. You got to play it safe. You should probably hit him with a brick.
I'm not going to hit him with a brick. He's kind of cute. We need to run that little phase of him.
Supposed to be our goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of
Well, I mean, you're just, and even if it is a kid, even if it is a teenage goth kid, the cop's going to let you go because you say, "Hey, look at him.
Well, it was a vampire.
He was a vampire."
That's a no-brainer, right?
Exactly.
What the heck is that breathing? I don't even want to know. What's the breathing noise?
Yeah, I don't hear anything. So the first few monsters I had to tackle were the traditional monster movie monsters. I did vampires, and I also did werewolves and reanimated corpses. Reanimated corpses not being zombies. I tackled them later, literally. But the reanimated corpses are your Frankenstein monsters. And generally, go ahead.
What about a golem? What about a golem? Do you want me to say that again? What about a golem?
Okay, you mean a golem. Golem just wants his precious.
Yeah. But you are my precious.
Well, thanks, baby. Yes. I didn't really tackle golems because, the main golem, the golem of Prague, that's in Jewish tradition. They can be created for a holy reason, and you feed them, commands, and they go do it. But they're endued by the power of God to go obey your commands. And I didn't really consider them monsters because, if you're a complete dick, you're not going to create a golem.
I'm taking notes.
No, seriously, because what do you want to do? What do you want to do in life? You want to, let me see, I want that wall knocked down outside my door so I can get a good view of the Johnson's daughter while she's bathing. No, God's not going to say that's okay. Probably not. Maybe He will. I'm not sure. So yeah, the whole the golem thing, yeah, not so much. But you got to watch out for the reanimated corpses. Mainly, your traditional ones, like the Frankenstein monster, you're only going to run into them in Romania. So my biggest suggestion is stay the hell out of Romania. The next ones you got to worry about.
Good idea anyway.
Yeah, the next ones you got to worry. Well, yeah, with the economy, what's Romanian tourism like? I don't know. I haven't seen any brochures in my mailbox. The next type of reanimated corpse you have to worry about is actually more terrifying, and that one is the one the military puts together with machinery and probably some demon blood to go fight its battles. Okay, they're all over the place. I'm sure they've escaped from government labs in Area 51, and they're wandering out in the desert somewhere, ready, to rip people's heads off. What do you do if that happens?
What character?
What do you guys do? What? Oh, come on! I'm talking about the government scientists creating reanimated corpses as super soldiers. Because that's perfect. Because if they get shot and killed, they don't have to write a letter to mom and dad. Simple as that. There's so much little paperwork with a guy who's already dead getting killed again.
I think somebody's been watching too many movies. Is that Universal Soldier all over again?
Although, isn't up Area 51? Did you see the new slides of the Roswell aliens?
No.
Oh, yeah, I sure did. Those were really fantastic.
That's not my thought.
So you're implying they're not authentic?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Door-to-door sales, not for you.
Oh, yeah, no, not so much. Any sales whatsoever. It's why I'm surprised anybody buys my book because, I'm not a good salesman. Okay, it's goddamn funny. Buy it. There you go. There's my sales pitch.
Well, Jim actually, he bought it and is reading it, and because it said enough to him, it showed him because he's reading it.
I've already read this.
But Jim, what was your favorite part that you've read?
So many for it.
I've never read that one. It did actually. If you can get a sample, you go to Amazon. That was nice.
Well, see, that's one of my favorite. They're doing vampires from nipples. My second favorite little monster happens to be the Mexican werewolf. That is really it tends to in human form and stewed cheese. I'm not sure how that was put together. Well, it's not their cheese. Because I can see it.
What was that? My son just called us crazy in teenage talk. I'm not crazy.
Only crazy people say they claim they're not crazy.
I'm not crazy.
No offense.
None taken. Okay, so it has sex with the wife or the women and spills cheese.
Other men.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Do you think it's really probably married? That's a fun.
His wife is the one going.
Yeah. I mean, my brother-in-law is married. He's pretty dirty, but.
Yeah. So I guess in Mexico, if you've had a vasectomy and your baby was born with a tail, yeah, you should worry. Yeah, the baby smells like Munster.
It's better than for Monday, I guess.
We're fair with it.
Wow.
I mean, this was a really fun exercise in picking monsters out I'd like to kill, and then killing them, which is one of the best. I mean, of course, this is fiction, right? None of these monsters exist except for all of them. So,
okay.
Looking at these monsters, imagining if they broke into my house, what would I do? And initially it was like, okay, I'd pick up a kitchen chair and break it over its head. And then when the chair shattered, I'd take the chair leg, which was split in two, and pierce the thing's heart. Okay? That's pretty pedestrian, but it's fun. And I started thinking, what else do I have? In the bathroom, there's a can of hairspray. I should keep a lighter in there. You know what? A monster can't attack me if I'm melting his face. What do I have in the garage?
What if he doesn't have a face? What if he doesn't have a face?
Well, then I made it melt as private. So it's not really a choice.
Slenderman.
Not a monster.
What's a monster?
Oh,
It's because, none of this is real. I can make up whatever I want.
Well, no, actually, the thing about Slender Man, which, I mean, it was a completely made-up story by, Creepypasta, I think. And it seemed to have taken on a life of its own. One of the things with those, if I may get paranormal for a second, is that monsters like that are discussed on a wide range quite often, people start reporting them. Okay, is it sort of a mass hysteria that people are actually seeing these? Or is there an entity out there that realizes people are talking about it? So that's how they present themselves. So Slender Man sightings, again, a made-up monster, but is something out there that making itself look like Slender Man. I don't know. I didn't address Slender Man in my book because how it might be copyrighted. I have no idea. But yeah, well, no, but the musky smell of urine might be marking your territory, and any monster might back away.
Wow, that's kind of what you both said at the same time.
Oh, great. Ethan and I are the same wavelength.
Well, one of the other things about monsters you have to worry about is them keying in on you, because most monsters are bigger, faster, and stronger than you. And especially with werewolves, I think I hit it on the head. Everybody who's afraid of a werewolf attack needs to have a cat in his house. A cat is known as a werewolf distraction device. As soon as a werewolf breaks into your house, you pick up Fluffy and throw the goddamn thing. The werewolf's going to go after the cat. In that time that it takes him to chase the cat down, you will have been able to get yourself into a fortified area and prepare your weapons for werewolf attack.
We're getting more cats this weekend.
Yeah, cats are important. Also, bottles of vodka. I mean, store bottles of vodka all over the house. People are going to think you're a raging alcoholic, but that is much better than not being able to throw a Molotov cocktail at a monster.
Or getting...
Okay, I will... Yeah, don't drink your weapons. That's why I picked the liquor I don't like. If I may quote Ron Swanson here, quoting Ron Swanson is, clear alcohols are for rich women on diets.
Rich women on diets?
Reason high to Everclear.
Are you rich?
Yeah.
I have a bottle of vodka sitting on my counter. It's been there for a year.
Well, the alternative.
Well, when I was in college, we used vodka. When our electricity went off one winter, we used vodka to. We set it on fire and roasted marshmallows over it.
I always filled watermelons full of it.
All right. Well, you gotta. I mean, we didn't have many watermelons. It was like February.
Right. I get it. So you roasted marshmallows over the vodka.
Yeah.
It might be sacrilegious in Russia. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a crime.
Wow.
That makes me think he was roasting marshmallows over it wasn't slowly on it. So.
Yeah, it's probably that $5 ball that I've got on my counter for Walmart. Smells like rubbing alcohol.
Okay, Casey, what would you do with a time traveler? How would you do that?
With a time traveler? Okay, I really didn't delve into time travelers. I'm going to generally assume all time travelers are Marty McFly. They just want to avoid scoring with their mom. That's really uncomfortable.
I don't know his mom.
I know, but yeah. I mean, I would have scored with Marty's mom, but yeah. Actually, thinking about it, pictures of my mom in high school, she was pretty hot. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there at all.
You were traded to hold us, so. We made it into the root of Jason's obsession with monsters.
Wow.
Well, and I try not to just get the really well-known monsters. Like I said, vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein's monsters, and zombies. Also took care of zombies. And the major problem with zombies and killing zombies is the fact that really you got to pay a lot of attention to who exactly is a zombie, because zombies shamble around. They smell terrible. They won't look you in the eye. If they do, their eyes are bloodshot and gooey. Their breath smells horrible. It could just be a college frat boy on a bender. You have no idea. It could be a hobo. Okay? If the hobo's carrying a paper sack with a head in it, you should probably kill him anyway. But you've got to be really careful. You don't want to kill a kid named Biff. You might want to, but you shouldn't do it. The whole paperwork, again, legal problems are a big issue.
Yeah, but the name Biff, I don't know. That just deserves a good stabbing.
The scary thing is, in college, I knew a guy named Biff. Whose that name was actually Biff.
I want my name to be Biff. It does. I'm kind of biffy.
So, yeah, you got to be really careful. I think vampires and werewolves, you have to be really careful because they look like people, and they once were people. A monster like a werewolf, if he breaks into your house, slathering foamy at the mouth, big rippling muscles underneath a sheen coat of fur, if you actually are able to plant an axe in his forehead and the thing crumples and dies, what do you turn to after it dies? I don't know. It might look like, like Alan from Hangover. Okay? Zach Galifianakis. He looks kind of like a werewolf. You really, really want to be around the cops. And, the cops say, okay, you killed Alan from the Hangover. What the hell's wrong with you? That kindly.
And vampires never been human. Or was human at one point.
That is an excellent point. I'm using the European vampire was once human, and across the world, different vampires were just always vampires. They're just always monsters. So, yeah, you don't know that. They just always resemble. Excuse me?
Ben was never human. He was born vampire. That's why I brought it up. Yeah. Lisa's son.
Okay.
You
can't count on Hollywood to lead you through the path of righteous monster killing. All right? Listen to werewolves. You see in the original and the little Romanian woman saying, he was pure at heart and says his prayers by night. Maybe he's a wolf, and the wolf in blooms, and the moon is full and bright. That shit was made up by a Hollywood writer. The full movie has absolutely nothing to do with werewolves at all. A traditional werewolf in most cultures can turn into a werewolf, or wear a jaguar, or wear a bear, or wear a shark in some cultures, whatever you want to. I think there were dolphins at some point to come to there were river dolphins that walk on the shore and have sex with women and then back in the water. It doesn't matter. So So, yeah, you can't trust Hollywood.
I must feel weird.
What can you kill? Okay, Hollywood says, what do you kill a werewolf with?
A silver bullet.
Okay, who the hell had silver bullets before the goddamn Lone Ranger? Nobody did. There's nobody, waltzing around Germany with silver bullets, a silver blunderbuss or whatever in the hell, 500 years ago. No, you kill them by killing them. Like most monsters, you shoot them in the head. Although werewolves, like vampires, the European tradition is you must stab their heart with silver or gold. I'm fine with that.
I think that was just a ploy to get money.
Well, maybe, I don't know, but you know what? If anybody who's really worried about vampires or werewolves needs to invest in a set of grills.
Grills, like teeth grills?
Yeah, exactly. Gold teeth. Yeah, the gold teeth. Yeah, the fake gold teeth you put in front. Yeah.
Wow. I don't even have anything to say to that.
Here's the whole book somewhere.
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm gonna give me an $800 pair of grills.
Well,
I'm going to give you an $800 pair of grills to rip the throat out of a werewolf. Makes perfect sense.
Then would that make you a vampire?
Well, you don't drink it. Sick.
Wow. As opposed to swallowing.
Exactly. If you bite a vampire's neck and some blood gets in your mouth, rinse and spit. Yeah, never swallow.
Have a Diet Coke handy, just in case.
I don't think Jason heard you.
oh, God. The show's gone to hell.
Oh, no, it hasn't. We still have some time left.
We're still on the
We're praying for the baby black Jesus tonight, boy. I have no idea.
Yeah, whatever, you freaking weirdo, you nympho. You need to go home and see 15 elders. It's in our fathers. Yeah, whatever that is. Get one of them. Yeah. You might want to get one of those like prostration and do some yeah. The flatulation's partying, I think.
Flagellation.
Oh, whatever.
Flagellation. Flagellation. Great, Jason. Now you got to talk about SDM.
Well, that's fine. But what happens? Is it okay? Is it okay within the church to flatulate while you flagellate? I mean, I don't know. I don't know this. I'd really like to know.
That was crap myself. I mean, that kind of hurt.
I'm not sure that Dogma really covers that question.
Was it the Da Vinci Code the other day?
Yeah.
That was some freaky stuff. And that crap actually happened.
Yeah.
I looked up the group. I can't think of the name there.
Yes.
Opus Dei.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the book.
Yeah, I think it was in Reanimated Corpses. I liked your use of frozen turkey.
Those things are vicious. Seriously, have you ever picked up a butterball at Thanksgiving? That thing can crush a skull.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
18-pound frozen sledgehammer.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, with those handles they have on, you can get some speed out of
I know. I've done some turkey bowling before, which is fun, but yeah, frozen turkey. against any sort of monster. Go into a grocery store. That's a beautiful place to kill monsters. Because you got the frozen turkey. You've got those huge jars of pickles. It's fun because if a monster's chasing you through a grocery store, knock that shit off the shelves. And then laugh as they're trying to come towards you by slicing their feet open on the broken glass.
That could be effective in not just monsters. I mean, you use that to get away from stuff.
Yeah, but it's funny because he says don't use the limping jars of olives. Make sure you get the big, giant jars of pickles.
Big old thick glass.
I mean, I've personally used that, against an annoying neighbor who wants to talk. I don't have shit at the grocery store. I just want to get my food and get out. No, here's some pickles. Boom!
Oh, I dropped it. Never mind. I gotta go.
We have an all five.
Yeah, well, some of the monsters, at least one of the monsters is really personal, and that's gnomes. Gnomes really bother me. When I was in high school, I went to work one night. I worked at it was Royal Stadium at that point. I was a food vendor, and I was on my way home. It was like a 45-minute drive, and I was really tired. I was seeing all sorts of shadows dancing across the road. I was sticking my head out the window, to try and stay awake. By the time I got into my hometown, I stopped, and I looked across the street, and there was bushes in front of the house, and there were two garden gnomes underneath the bushes. And I stared at them, and I swear to God, they were moving. I only got like 4 hours of sleep the night before. I was, working on, that could have been a problem, but I seriously think the gnomes were moving. So when I wrote the chapter on gnomes and elves, I was thinking to myself, how terrifying are these things? In lots of cultures, in fact, every culture, you got little people. You were talking Hawaii earlier. You got the Minahuni. In Native American culture, you've got lots of little people. You've got the Ibu Gogo from Flores Island, over by New Zealand, that they dubbed the Hobbit because they were really small. But every culture's got these. All through Europe, you got trolls, goblins, elves, gnomes. In Scandinavia, they still deal with gnomes. I mean, they don't deal with gnomes, but some people still leave out food at night or milk, just not to piss the gnomes off. They're known as a tomtar there. So if these things are still around, what am I going to do about it? I mean, you'd think the worst they could do is come into your house and fix all your shoes. Okay? That would be awesome. But they're a little bit more evil than that. Okay, so you got to put lots of rat traps in your house. And by lots of rat traps, I mean cover the entire floor in rat traps. Okay?
So how do you get out?
Got to keep. But you're bigger and smarter than them. Use the window. What the hell's wrong with you? I mean, go out the window. You cover the floor in rat traps. The things you've got to keep in your house are a weed eater, because these things are small. Weed eaters are terrific, and a lawnmower with sharpened blades out in the garage. The problem with these things is they're nature spirits. Okay, they're nature creatures. So killing them with something meant to take care of nature is a good FU to the gnomes and elves. Okay? Which is seriously what you want to do. All right? And by if the one steps in a rat trap, it's got a broken leg. You know what you can do with that? You got to nail it to the yard and run over it with a lawnmower. The major problem with these, is if you take one and you bury it in the ground near a tree or a stream, it's going to reanimate and be a freaking gnome zombie. You know what's scarier than gnome zombies? And if you say nothing, you're right. It's terrifying. Okay? So you need to bury them in concrete. why I looked up prices for Quikrete at your local hardware store. Ace Hardware has it for about $4.38 a bag, plus tax. Okay? You got it, which is another benefit of my book. I give you prices and products that you can use to defeat these monsters.
Shopping list even. Fantastic. The man is a genius.
The main problem with little monsters like that are elves. Okay, because they're not easily tricked. They're a little bit more spry than gnomes. I mean, how are you going to tell if a gnome's been in your house? They crap behind the sofa, and if your kid's Barbie, is covered with fairy dust and smells of whiskey, it's probably a gnome. But elves are tough. How do you capture one of those? You set a fire. They won't go near it until you drop a copy of Peter Pan in the fire. Okay, they'll dive in to try and save it. Or a Tinkerbell doll. Okay? Watching that thing start to melt is going to completely attract every elf in the neighborhood. Okay? That's when you throw in a quart of gasoline.
And call the fire department.
Well, and that's something I address in my last two chapters. My next to last chapter is, how to deal with the aftermath of killing a monster. Okay, and a lot of the aftermath is dealing with insurance companies when you burn your house down.
Sure.
Yeah,
I get it.
You have good stories to give to the insurance adjuster.
Well, they're not really going to buy the gnome thing, so you blame it on your neighbor being an asshole.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. I'm going to need a drink.
And we all have one of those neighbors.
I was just going to say, you haven't started yet?
No, well.
It must be you.
Yeah, I'm the asshole neighbor.
Your neighbor will be giving you short.
Yeah. The burning crap on my porch usually gives that away, right?
We need intervention from you, John.
No. I think I scare my neighbors.
Yeah, don't you hate it when you light a bag of crap on fire on your neighbor's porch and you get home and you realize, hey, that's my porch.
You had too much vodka.
Yeah. If you had too much vodka, you weren't filling a bag.
Yes. The guy who lives at this house is such a jerk. I'm going to light a flaming bag of crap on his porch. It's me. Yeah.
You realize you're the jerk. I use my hands to recommend it. Amazon.com, I know that.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'm just wondering what you used.
Nothing, never mind.
Yeah. Okay. All my books are available at Amazon.com. I've written four books on the paranormal, one about hauntings, Haunted Missouri, which I cover something in Joplin. What Lurks Beyond, The Paranormal in Your Backyard, which is a book of all the paranormal stuff I could find within a 100-mile radius of my house. A book called Paranormal Missouri, which is just about all the weird stuff I could find in my home state. And Darkness Walks, The Shadow People Among Us, which is the book on shadow people. I tried to dig as far deeply as I could into the shadow people phenomenon because when I was a kid, I saw them in my house and they scared the hell out of me. So I spent a lot of my life wanting to find out what they are. My newest book, How to Kill Monsters with Common Household Items, is available at Amazon.com, and you guys have heard about it for the last hour. It was a lot of fun to write because it's fun to figure out how to kill stuff. And I had a book come out in December, my very first novel, called A Funeral Story, which is about a Dungeons and Dragons playing, Star Trek watching nerd. Funny, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons playing, Star Trek watching nerd. But he has a strange hobby. He picks up and has sex with strangers at funerals. So it's a pretty funny book, but that's my first novel, and it's called The Funeral Story. All these books are available at Amazon.com, and wow, I took a lot of time to say that. Thanks for giving it to me.
Hey, no problem, man. We really appreciate you being on the show. You're freaking hilarious.
Yeah, we always enjoy hanging out, Jay.
Enjoy.
Well, and I always enjoy this. This is a great time. I always enjoy being on the show. It's a good time.
And you should.
Well, I do, though. There's something on it.
Not over the internet. Over my computer. All right, dude, so we gotta go. We appreciate you on there.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Go on.
Everyone, night.
All right.